Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Sofea Anisa binti Mohd Nor, and today I will be talking about the climate change and global warming with my other two friends, Nurhani Zahra binti Noraslan and Nurizzatul Nazween binti Suhaimi. I'm pretty sure that everyone must have heard about these climate change and global warming issues, but do you just know about it, or do you really know what does it means? So let's get started with climate change first. As for the climate change, according to NASA, climate change is a broad range of global phenomena created predominantly by burning fossil fuels, which will add heat-trapping gas at the Earth's atmosphere. But in a simpler way, climate change means that there is a rise in average surface temperature on Earth. Now I will be talking about the global warming. Global warming is the phenomenon of increasing average air temperatures near the surface of Earth over the past 1 to 2 centuries. Climate scientists have gathered details observation of various weather phenomena such as temperature, precipitation, and storms. These data indicate that Earth's climate has changed over almost every conceivable timescale since the beginning of geologic time. So basically, in a much simpler way, global warming refers to the heating up of the Earth caused by holes on the ozone layer. So from both of the definition that I told you, we can conclude that this global warming will happen when there is change in climate. So there are three main causes of this global warming and climate change. The first one is humanity's increased use of fossil fuels. So some of example of the fossil fuels that are usually used by the people is coal, oil, and gas. All these three fossil fuels usually being used to generate electricity, run cars, and other forms of transport, and they are being used for power manufacturing and industry too. The second one is deforestation. This deforestation are very bad because it stops the living trees from absorb and store carbon dioxide, so it will increase the amount of carbon dioxide. As we know, when the amount of carbon dioxide increase, it will heat up the Earth and will probably make the ozone layer become thinner. And the third one is increasingly intensive agriculture. This is very dangerous because it will emit the greenhouse gases like methane and nitrous oxide. When this happens, it will definitely affect the ozone layer. So that's all from me for now, and let's proceed with my friends, Nurhani Zahra.
Thank you, Sofia, for the introduction. Now I may continue with the advantages of climate change towards the world. Firstly, warmer temperatures and increased carbon dioxide levels can cause vigorous plant growth by photosynthesis. Second, frozen regions of the world such as Canada and Siberia would be able to grow crops. To other countries experiencing winter season, climate change could reduce winter heating costs. Also, during winter, pavements are most likely to be snowy and icy, leading to almost 24% of weather-related vehicle accidents caused by its slippery road. Hence, accidents are less likely to occur if there's climate change. this, climate change could cause the rise of sea levels due to melting ice, also known as glacier retreats, and thermal expansion. It'll be risky for those living in coastal areas to keep staying there, as floods are most likely to happen. While other species of animals and plants could thrive in a warmer temperatures or adjust to surrounding temperatures, some of them don't. Extinction of certain species will happen due to shifting temperatures. Frequent and intense drought will also happen along poor air quality and waterborne diseases. According to Aidil, a Twitter user who is also a campaigner at the Malaysian Youth Delegation Association, it is estimated that Malaysians throw out 2,000 tons of textile waste daily, which end up in landfills and contribute to climate change. Thus, we are recommended to donate or recycle our unwanted clothes to any cloth cares bin in Klang Valley, Negeri Sembilan, and Melaka. Best practices in climate change are to join or volunteer in a non-government organization such as this, known as the Malay Youth Delegation Association. The Malay Youth Delegation Association strives to represent the local youth climate movement and raise awareness mainly among Malaysian Twitter users. This account is very beneficial and interactive. Next, make your commute green. Vehicles, commonly cars, contribute to greenhouse gases that destroy our atmosphere. To avoid this, we must practice using public transportation to reduce number of vehicle use per day. Riding a bike to work is also incredibly helpful and helps you exercise. After that, it is highly recommended to use energy-efficient bulb and practice turning off lights and unplug the devices once you've done using them. Celebrities such as Blackpink has joined hands to promote awareness towards climate change to the younger generations. The recent Safe campaign by Samsung with a collaboration of NCT127, they have been speaking about climate change and how Samsung technology could sustain the environment.
Recently, our fans actively raised funds to aid earthquake and flood damages in Indonesia and participated in a campaign to raise awareness about the Papuan Forest, #SavePapuanForest. Our fans not only expect great music and performances from us, but also our awareness and contribution towards important global issues, such as the climate change.
That's all from me. Now, I shall pass this topic to be elaborated more by Nurizzatul Nazween.
Hi, I'm Nazween. So today I will be talking to you about scientific technologies that can help us to reduce global warming and climate change. So, let's get started. Reducing the amount of carbon emitted into the atmosphere is essential to keep the world's temperature from rising. I will explain to you few technologies to process and provide methods to reduce CO2 contribution and using up excess carbon dioxide. The first technology is from Swiss startup, which is Klangwork. So, the technology called direct air capture. Essentially, air will pass to a giant filter which catch up the carbon dioxide. It can be separated and sold to food and beverage industry, pumped into greenhouses, or used to make fuel and carbon-based products like plastics. Okay, I will show you a video about this technology and how it works.
How does direct air capture and storage work? In one sentence, you could say direct air capture catches CO2 and removes it from the air. The air is drawn into a collector with a fan, and CO2 is captured on the surface of a highly selective filter material that sits inside the collector. Next, once the filter material is full of CO2, the collector closes and is heated to around 100 degrees Celsius. Using the carb fix method, the captured CO2 is then mixed with water and pumped deep underground, where it mineralizes and can be stored permanently for thousands of years.
Okay, the second innovation is from a company called Project Vesta. Project Vesta, is looking to create beach that use rock-forming material called olivine to absorb carbon dioxide. Normally, rock made with olivine will break down to weathering. The olivine then absorbs carbon dioxide as much as 1.25 tons of carbon dioxide per ton of olivine, but actually the process may take a very long time, which is like a million of years. So in this Project Vesta want to accelerate the natural cycle by grinding olivine into fine grain and spreading in 2% of beach around the world. So it will give the olivine the more surface area it needs to absorb more carbon dioxide.
Our plan is this. If we take an abundantly available volcanic rock called olivine, grind it up, and spread it in coastal areas, nature will take care of the rest. Olivine sand breaks down from natural wave action and currents. As the olivine breaks down, CO2 is removed from the air and becomes bicarbonate, which is used by marine organisms in their shells and ends up as limestone on the ocean floor.
Okay, now I will be talking about ocean acidification. Ocean acidification occurs when carbon dioxide dissolves into the oceans. Since the Industrial Revolution, humans have released unprecedented amount of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere via fossil fuel burning and industrial activities. It contributes to the problem of anthropogenic climate change. The world ocean absorbs approximately 130 billion tons of carbon dioxide from 80,000 to 1994, which has substantially altered the ocean chemistry. In a phenomenon known as ocean acidification, carbon dioxide combines with seawater to form carbonic acid, which has resulted in a decline in the global ocean's pH by 0.1 unit over the past 200 years. This phenomenon is not only affecting the aquatic animal, but it is also have negative economic impact on commercial fisheries, because the most of the aquatic animal may be harmed and may be died because of the ocean acidification. The next phenomenon is called El Nino. During an El Nino event, the surface water in Central and Eastern Pacific Ocean becomes significantly warmer than usual. That change is intimately tied to the atmosphere and to the winds blowing over the vast Pacific. Easterly trade winds, which blow from the Americas to Asia, falter and can even turn around to westerlize. This allows great masses of warm water to slosh from the Western Pacific to the Americas. The circulation of air above the tropical Pacific Ocean responds to this tremendous redistribution of ocean heat. The typically strong high-pressure system of the Eastern Pacific weakened. Thus, it changed the balance of atmospheric pressure across the Eastern, Central, and Western Pacific. While easterly winds tend to be dry and steady, Pacific westerlies tends to become bursts of warmer, moisture air. El Nino can affect our weather significantly. The warmer water causes the Pacific jet stream to move south of its neutral position. With this shift, areas in the northern US and Canada are drier and warmer than usual, and it can be drought for months. But in the US, Gulf Coast and Southeast, this period are wetter than usual and have increased flooding. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.